Nice. Alright, my microphone is on. It's perfect. So let me see if my stream is working. I wanted to see this video for a while. There we go. It's working. Nice. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I wanted to see this video for a while. I've seen like a small clip of it. So, but I wanted to actually see the whole thing. So let's go. Let me see. Okay, I think this is like a police video. I know that much.
Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out
And
the
it's a
who
fearless
and
thing. Okay,
what
cool.
and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers
But I
absurd
don't actually know what
gestures,
happened, so we'll see
body-worn
now what
cameras,
happens.
and the Fourth Amendment, and is brought to us by James Freeman's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. In a video posted on May 28th, 2022, Corporal Michael Pritch of the Little Egg Harbor Police...
Alright, first of all, I need subtitles. Let's get it. So, let's see, who's the culprit again?
credit that they deserve. In a video posted on May 28th, 2022,
Okay, May 28, 2022. Okay, this is recent. Okay, this is good. And this is a photo.
Corporal
Okay.
Michael Pritch
Michael Pritch. Okay. Let's see.
of the Little Egg Harbor Police Department in Ocean County, New Jersey,
Alright.
stopped his vehicle and approached a young man who was walking on the side of the road after the man, who we will refer to as Mr. Walker, gave the finger to Corporal Pritch.
But what happened? Hold on. Hold on, what actually happened?
He stopped his vehicle and approached
Okay,
a
stopped his vehicle. Okay.
young man who was walking on the
It was a young man. Okay. Walking. Okay, so far so good.
side of the road after the man, who we will
Young man who was walking on the side of the road after the man. So I guess this man.
refer to as Mr. Walker, gave
Okay, Mr. Walker.
the finger to Corporal Pritch.
Okay, so this guy was walking on the road, and I guess he gave the middle finger to the police. Okay, so far so good. Okay.
The interaction was captured on Corporal Pritch's
Oh, nice. We have a
body-worn
camera. Okay,
Why you give me
lovely. Oh, why give you the finger? Okay.
What? What's your problem? What? Why you give me the finger?
All right. So he literally stopped because the boy was giving him the middle finger. Okay, now I understand. Okay, so far so good. Let's go.
I'm walking away.
Huh?
Am I free to go?
Why you give me the finger?
Am I free to go?
No. Come
For
here.
what reason?
Why you give me the finger? What's your problem?
Am I
Hold on. So just to be clear, this boy gave the police the middle finger. From what I understand, the police had a problem with that and they stopped him for that. Okay, cool.
free to go?
No.
What,
What's
do you
your
have a
name?
problem?
Am I free to go?
You
Yes.
have a problem?
No.
You don't have a problem? Then
You're
what?
not free to go.
I can
Okay.
leave.
Why you giving me the finger when you're walking? Huh?
Okay.
Come here.
I'm trying to
Get over
understand.
What?
here. Get over here.
Is that a lawful order?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because you're giving me the finger.
That's
Okay.
legal.
No, it isn't.
Says who?
Says it all.
Pull up the law.
Huh?
Pull up the law.
What's your name?
What's the law?
What's your
What's
name?
the law?
What's
Whoa, 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 this is popping. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, I need to put this back because I'm not.
Is that a lawful order?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because you're giving me the finger.
That's
Okay. So this boy is not having it.
legal.
No, it isn't.
Says who?
Says it all.
Pull up the law.
Huh?
Pull up the law.
He said pull up the law. He said pull up the law. Okay. I met. Oh, I'm trying to actually do this
What's
video.
your
I'm
name?
trying to
What's the
figure out
law?
what's going
What's
on.
your
What's
name?
the law?
What's your name? How
What's the
old
law?
are you?
Corporal Pritch claims that it is illegal to give him the finger, and therefore he can lawfully detain Mr. Walker for doing so. As we have discussed before on ATA, the Supreme Court held in the 1970s
Alright. And hi, Matt. Yeah, go do the work as well. I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Okay, so the boy and they pulled up the law. This is the actual law. Alright, that's good. Let's see. Ah, good. Uphill. Okay.
one case of Cohen versus California that, quote, absent a more particularized
Okay. Absent a more particularized and compelling reason for its action, the state may not consistently with the First and 14th
and
Amendments.
compelling reason for its actions, the state may not, consistently with the First and 14th Amendments, make the simple public display here involved of this single four-letter expletive a criminal offense. Likewise, as the Supreme Court explained in the 1989 case of Texas versus Johnson, while, quote, the First Amendment literally forbids the abridgment only of speech, its protection does not end at the spoken or written word. Conduct may be sufficiently imbued with elements of communication to fall within the scope of the First and 14th Amendments. The court also stated that, quote, in deciding whether particular conduct possesses sufficient communicative elements to bring the First Amendment into play, we have asked whether an intent to convey a particularized message was present, and whether the likelihood was great that the message would be understood by those who viewed it. Although the Supreme Court has not ruled specifically as to whether raising a middle finger constitutes protected speech, the gesture nearly inarguably satisfies the test for expressive conduct outlined in Texas versus Johnson, and courts that have reviewed the issue have generally concluded that it is protected speech. In the 2006 case of Corey versus Nason, the U.S. District Court in the Western District of
Okay, so it's protected. Okay.
Pennsylvania, which is in the same federal circuit as New Jersey, concluded that, quote, the weight of federal authority establishes that directing the middle finger at a police officer is protected expression under the First Amendment.
Okay. I think it says it's very clear here.
Absent some particularized showing that the gesture in the specific factual context constitutes fighting words or is otherwise illegal. According to Section 2C 33-2, quote, a person is guilty of a petty disorderly persons offense if, in a public place and with purpose to offend the sensibilities of a hearer or in reckless disregard of the probability of so doing, he addresses unreasonably loud and offensively coarse or abusive language given the circumstances of the person present and the setting of the utterance to any person present.
Okay. I'm sorry. I needed to stop that. So a person is guilty of a petty disorderly person offense in a public place. Okay. Here, or in reckless disregard, possible doing so, he addresses unreasonably loud and offensively coarse or abusive language. Okay, given the circumstances of the person, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Basically, the boy just gave the middle finger to the police, and the police couldn't take it. And they got pissed. That guy, ego, got, you know, he couldn't take it at the fact that the little boy was showing him the middle finger and he couldn't do anything about it. I think that's all I have to do. It's that easy.
In the circumstances of the person present and the setting of the utterance to any person present. In the 2022 case of Morales versus Maxwell, the U.S. District Court for the District of New Jersey held that an individual could not be convicted of disorderly conduct under this statute for shouting profanities at a police officer because, quote, under long-standing precedent, the statute violates the First Amendment when applied to language short of that which would incite the hearer to immediate violence, and the profanities he shouted at the officer, quote, by themselves do not constitute fighting words that would provide probable cause for arrest under the disorderly person statute.
Okay, so the boy was not trying to fight the policeman and was not trying to cause drama, and clearly he can't get arrested.
Given this precedent, it is highly likely that a court reviewing this situation would determine that Mr. Walker's use of the middle finger was protected speech, and that he could not be arrested under the disorderly conduct statute for
Middle
directing the
finger.
gesture at Corporal
I
Pritch.
can show it.
Have a good one. Please. Whatever. What? Come here.
Oh,
Come
it's
here.
going again. Oh.
Get over here.
What?
Get over here.
I'm not doing anything illegal.
Yeah, you are. You just cursed me off.
That's not
Turn
a
around.
crime.
Yes, it is.
Says who?
Says me.
Says who?
Turn around. Come on.
Bro, that is not.
What the?
Crime.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Why you cursing me?
It's not a crime.
What's your name?
It's not a crime.
What's your name?
Oh my god, this is distressing. I would actually be so upset if I were this boy's mother. Like, I would be so upset. Like, why are you putting your hands on my boy? He didn't even do nothing. He just showed you the middle finger. Okay. I'm not too sure. I need to carry on and see what this is. But I would be very upset and distressed at this point. And I don't even understand how this boy is so brave.
Help! Help!
No help.
Oh my god, he's asking for help. Yeah, go on, boy. Yeah, I will shout for help too. Go on, help.
Help! Help!
Yo.
Help!
Corporal Pritch grabs Mr. Walker and holds him with his hands behind his back. When Mr. Walker starts screaming for help, Corporal Pritch turns off his body-worn camera and does not.
I mean, this man just turned off his camera while he's basically assaulting a little boy. I'm done.
turn it back on until backup arrives. Under Section 40A 14-118.3 of the New
Yeah, exactly. He didn't like. What is this? I'm pissed now. Now I'm pissed.
Jersey statutes, every uniformed law enforcement officer is required to wear a body-worn camera that electronically records audio and video while acting in the performance of their official duties, with limited exceptions. Additionally, Section 40A 14-118.5 states that, quote, the video and audio recording functions of a body-worn camera shall be activated whenever the officer is responding to a call for service, or at the initiation of any other law enforcement or investigative encounter between an
Okay, the video and audio, yeah, right. Camera on your body has to be on, yes, all the time when you're on call, yes. Responding a call for service or interaction or whatever you want to call it, yeah.
officer and a member of the public,
Cool.
and that, quote, the body-worn camera shall remain activated until the encounter has fully concluded and the officer leaves the scene. Likewise, the statute only allows for the deactivation of a body-worn camera during an encounter, quote, when a civilian conversing with the officer requests that the device be deactivated where it reasonably appears that the person will not provide information or otherwise cooperate with the officer unless that request is respected, when a person other than an arrestee is seeking emergency medical services for themselves or another person and requests that the device be deactivated, while the officer is participating in a discussion pertaining to criminal investigation strategy and planning, or when specifically authorized to do so by an assistant prosecutor or an assistant or deputy attorney general for good and sufficient cause.
Okay.
These legal requirements are expanded upon in the body-worn camera.
Subject, object to body worn camera policy. I mean, it's all here. I'm not gonna read this whole shit, but I can scream through it. And it's basically all there.
Camera policy issued by the Office of the Attorney General for the state of
This
New
is
Jersey. And it is clear that Corporal Pritch's
upsetting.
actions in turning off the body-worn camera violated both state law and the Attorney General's policy.
I'm under arrest right now because I was cursing at him. And he said,
You're being detained. Because you're acting strange.
what? That's not legal.
It is legal. He's allowed to
Who is
detain
this
you
kid?
until he performs his
So what am I
investigation.
doing though?
Wait, what? Did another policeman come as well? And now there's two of them not knowing the law and abusing this little boy? Oh my god. I feel for this boy. Don't have this man.
What am I doing that made him detain me? What legal right?
Yeah.
I rode by him twice. He shot me the finger. So I turned around and said, "What you?"
Is that a crime?
No problem?
Hold
Then
on
he
a
tells
second.
me
That's not a
This is
crime.
causing public service.
Then he
That's
tells
not,
me to.
no, that's not a
It's
crime.
F off, pig.
Yeah, off, big. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. He's looking at you because he's like, what the fuck you want me to do? Because it's not a crime. I know my rights.
Oh my god, this boy. Yo, this boy actually know.
Who are you?
I don't have to say any of that.
You do if you're being detained.
For what reason?
What is
What
your
legal
name?
reason am I being detained for?
Where are you coming from? Where are you?
What legal reason am I being detained
Come
for?
on, boy.
I need to know that. Legally, I need to know that.
Yeah.
Patrolman Michael James Lamontagne arrives on the scene and
Okay, I like this boy. Okay, this is going good.
informs Mr. Walker that he is required to identify himself because he is being detained, even though he cannot provide a legal justification for the detention. However, New Jersey does not have a stop and identify statute that specifically requires Mr. Walker to identify himself, and courts have determined that New Jersey's obstruction statute cannot be applied to individuals who refuse to identify themselves to police officers when they are not suspected of committing a motor vehicle offense. Under Section 2C 29-1 of the New Jersey Code, quote, a person commits an offense if he purposely obstructs, impairs, or
Oh my god, does the police know all this stuff? Like, why am I even reading this? I think it is the police who should be reading this, not me. What is going on, man? They should, like, know this shit. What is
perverts
going on?
the administration of law or other governmental function,
Wow.
or prevents or attempts to prevent a public servant from lawfully performing an official function by means of flight, intimidation, force, violence, or physical interference or obstacle.
I mean, we can go through this all day long and we can come with all these laws, but we all know what happened. The boy wanted to show the middle finger to the police, and the police couldn't take it. And now they're arresting this boy for showing the middle finger to the police. That's all I understand.
Or by means of any independently unlawful act. Although the statute does not require that an individual physically obstruct an officer to be convicted of obstruction, in the 2020 case of Bryant versus Camden County Police Department, the Superior Court of the New Jersey Appellate Division held that an individual, quote, had the right to refuse to turn over his identification when an officer demanded it during a police investigation that was not initiated on the belief that the individual had violated a motor vehicle law, and that he could not be arrested for refusing to identify himself.
Okay, so basically, he doesn't even need to show his ID. Okay.
Because he
So he doesn't
quote,
even need to
committed
do that.
No
Oh my God.
unlawful act to impede the investigation. Therefore, a court would very likely determine that Patrolman Lamontagne was incorrect in his assertion that Mr. Walker was required to identify himself.
Why are you
Shooting me the finger.
Why are you
Is that illegal?
Why are
Cursing
you
at
flipping the bird? Yes, it is. When you are cursing in public, you are causing a public disturbance.
Look at this guy. He came in hot. He said, yeah, I know the law. Okay.
You're being a nuisance to the public.
In what way? When he was driving past? Well, I'd like to see you guys prove.
He said you're being a nuisance to the public. He didn't disturb anyone. The only person who got disturbed was that policeman. Oh my God.
In court.
It's called causing a public disturbance.
I know
okay,
the
by
law.
being a nuisance.
I know the
okay?
law.
I'm not saying you're being charged with anything. At that
I'm
point,
just
he's
figuring out.
And if you're not saying he's being charged with anything, why are you holding this boy and not letting him go to his mom home? That's what I would like to know. If he's not charged with anything, Mr. So smart. I am police officer.
What's
Yes.
wrong with you?
to make sure that there is nothing
Make
wrong.
sure you're okay.
What
Make sure
reason,
that you're okay.
What reason does he need to detain you?
He thought maybe he thought you were signaling him down. Were
I
you
was.
signaling to him?
No,
Listen, I was
no,
just-
he knew
Oh
very
my
well that I
God.
wasn't signaling to you.
Oh my God, the boy's like, if he even knew, like he even turned to him, he's like, yo, you know I wasn't seeing. Oh my God.
Right? I wasn't signaling
Well,
to you.
you bring attention to yourself.
That's not singling.
Your action's strange. I'm making sure you're okay.
He said you're acting strange. I was making sure you are okay. He seems okay to me. You can go on now. Move.
That's so funny. Like, you're not here for my safety. You're not trying to protect
How
me.
do you know?
Yes.
You're walking
may
on the
be-
side of the road and you're cursing and you're flipping the bird.
Once at him. I gave him the finger once. That
Yes,
was not
give
hold
him.
up.
Do you know him? Do you know him?
It's not your business. I
It is
plead
my
the fifth.
business.
I plead the fifth then.
It's
What's the
your
First
public
Amendment for?
Okay. First Amendment is for your freedom of speech. Okay.
Okay.
What does that have to do with
Was I
using
making a call to
gestures?
action? Am I calling for an action
Oh
to
my
be done against me?
goodness.
Do you
No.
understand
You're
that
bringing
it is?
attention to
Listen,
yourself and
listen,
getting
listen, listen.
That's illegal.
It's behavior that's out of the ordinary. Clearly, if you stopped all the way back there.
If I was one of these policemen, I would look at the other one and say, look, we are two grown-ass men talking with a teenager, like with a boy, like, what are you guys doing? Like, idiots, man. Like, how are you even, like, what are we doing? Even if the boy gave you the middle finger, let it go, man. He's a boy. Like, what are you doing, you idiots, man? Both of you clowns, fools.
I'm assuming you guys were back there and you just
We
continued
went
to
back
walk.
a bit further
And you
back.
just
And you
continued
ran
to
away
walk.
from me.
I wasn't running, I was walking.
Once he
So
gives an order
let's
for you
be
to
honest
stop, you're supposed to stop.
here. I did stop when he originally said it, but I was asking, is it
And then he
illegal?
told me
Is it
to
a
F
lawful?
off, and he took off.
Yeah, because I kept walking because you weren't pursuing at the first. You
All
only
right.
started pursuing because I
So
said you big. That's
listen.
when you got a little upset.
But we're here
Yeah, exactly. He got a little upset. Yeah, exactly. Fucking idiot.
at this point now. Okay.
Sorry.
You've brought the attention to yourself. You
Yep.
caused the public alarm.
Well,
What
I'd like
we
to
are
see
doing-
you legally
so
hold
now
that
what
in
we are
court,
doing,
because-
I'm not charging you with anything, so
Well, I
legally
would-
you need to hold.
The boy said, I would like to see how you're legally gonna hold it in court. And he said, I'm not charging you with anything. Bro, why are you still here? Oh my God, let the boy go then. Oh my God, you idiots. I'm sorry, can I say idiots on YouTube? I'm gonna stop saying that. You fools.
hold anything in court.
Well, I want to know from your
I
perspective. What was I
pulled up
doing?
onto the scene, so you tell me what you were doing.
To bring you attention to
I
yourself.
plead the fifth.
Now I need to pull this laugh again. He said, I plead the fifth and start laughing.
Now
back
what
in
we are
court,
doing,
because-
I'm not charging you with anything, so
Well, I
legally
would-
need to hold anything in court.
Well, I want to know from your
I
perspective. What was I
pulled up
doing?
onto the scene, so you tell me what you were doing.
To bring you attention to
I
yourself.
plead the fifth. Idiot.
What's the best part? He said, you fucking idiot at the end.
Is spread
Oh my
betting
God, he
right
said,
for me?
I plead the fifth.
Get more
You fucking
flexibility.
idiot.
Benefit from tax-free profits with the UK's
Go on,
How long
go
have
on,
you
boy.
been without?
Go on, son.
Longer than you.
Listen,
Longer than you, I'm not a cop.
I don't understand what
This
what
boy
the
is
point is.
legendary. No wonder
I'm
this
walking.
no wonder this video had so many views. This boy is legendary.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's the Fourth Amendment to be allowed to walk without seizures or anything like that.
You
Which
sure?
is,
Are
yes.
you sure that's the Fourth Amendment? You
You
sure?
want to bet money on it?
You sure that's for the Fourth Amendment? It gives you the right to walk without seizure. What's going to be seizured while you're walking?
My body, my person, idiot. You were about to.
Listen.
He said I was going to be under arrest. He said
You
it.
said you were
I
detained.
said stop.
Now he's calling them all under the sun.
He
No,
said you're
wait.
detained.
Be arrested.
So now what
Yeah,
happens?
so
now what happens?
he just admitted that
now
he was
what
going
happens
to
is when
arrest
he
me.
gives you a lawful order to stop, and you do
It
not
wasn't a
stop.
lawful order, though.
And you do not
It
stop.
legally was not a
and
lawful
you
order.
do not stop, then that becomes a criminal offense, and then yes, you can be put under
But
arrest.
it's not a lawful order. Then I take it to court, and then he'd get sued, and I get
Maybe.
punitive damages. I'd be rich.
And get
That what you
paid.
want?
That
Oh,
may,
you don't know the
that
law,
may be
buddy.
what happens.
You don't know the
Face. He knows he's right. The boy knows he's right. And these two fools are not gonna take it from him. That's the face of a person who knows. They're right.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Patrolman Lamong Tang
Yeah, look at that.
claims that the Fourth Amendment was not implicated in this interaction because no seizure occurred and Mr. Walker was not placed under arrest. However, as the Supreme Court
How is this boy so smart though? Good job. Good job.
explained in the infamous 1968 case of Terry versus Ohio, quote, "The Fourth Amendment provides that the right of the
Hi,
people
Zoro.
to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. This inestimable right of personal security belongs as much to the citizen on the streets of our cities as to the homeowner closeted in his study to dispose of his secret affairs. For, as this court has always recognized,
I
no
love this
right
guy. I
is
just
held
seen it.
more sacred
I wanted to see this video for a while. I saw it has lots of views, so now I'm enjoying it. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
or is more carefully guarded by the common law than the right of every individual to the possession and control of his own person, free from all restraint or interference of others, unless by clear and unquestionable authority of law. Based on this principle, the court determined that, quote, "It is quite plain that the Fourth Amendment governs seizures of the person which do not eventuate in a trip to the station house and prosecution for crime, arrests in traditional terminology. It must be recognized that whenever a police officer accosts an individual and restrains his freedom to walk away, he has seized that person." Building on this decision, the Supreme Court held in the 1980 case of United States versus Mendenhall that, quote, "A person has been seized within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment only if, in view of all of the circumstances surrounding the incident, a reasonable person would have believed that he was not free to leave." Examples of circumstances that might indicate a seizure, even where the person did not attempt to leave,
Oh my god, this boy done absolutely nothing wrong. My games, yeah,
would
they,
be the threatening
so and so.
presence of several officers, the display of a
I won some and I lost some, so it's all good. Just gonna do this quick video, watching this, and then I think I'm gonna go off and be back later and play some more games. How's your games going?
weapon by an officer, some physical touching of the person of the citizen, or the use of language or tone of voice indicating that compliance with the officer's request might be compelled. Additionally, in the 1991 case of California versus Hodari D., the Supreme Court clarified that, quote, "To constitute a seizure of the person, just as to constitute an arrest, the quintessential seizure of the person under Fourth Amendment jurisprudence, there must be either the application of physical force, however slight, or, where that is absent,
Wanna know what happens
submission
in
to
the end with
officer's
this
show of authority to restrain the subject's liberty. Here, it is undeniable that Mr. Walker was seized when Corporal Pritch initiated physical contact with Mr. Walker to prevent him from leaving. However, it is also highly probable that a court would conclude Mr. Walker was seized for Fourth Amendment purposes when Corporal Pritch first ordered him to stop, and he complied.
It may be what's going to happen. It may not be what happens. Okay.
Okay, I
What may
understand.
happen is
All right, so
is
what
you
are we
may get a
wasting time
normal
for?
jury.
Am I free
and
to
you-
go?
What
Am I
may
free to
happen
go?
is you may get
Am I
a
free to
normal
go?
jury. No, because at this point
For what reason?
you were detained. Okay, because he told you to stop
Okay.
and you didn't stop.
Okay.
So therefore, you need to identify yourself as a part of the investigation. So what is your name?
Okay, I'm gonna need all of your badge numbers.
I will give you everything written down on a card.
Okay, I'm gonna need all of your badge numbers. Gang shit.
What is your
I
name?
could give you.
If you have an
Am
ID,
I?
that's perfect.
Am I? Okay. I'll take it to court
If you have
because
an
this
ID,
is
that's
still
perfect.
this is still a detainment.
Are you a juvenile?
This is an illegal detainment,
Are
so
you
I
a
can
juvenile?
still. I'm not going to answer that.
You have to answer.
Why?
Because you're being detained.
I said I'll give you my ID, buddy. He's such a big bro.
I think this kid didn't even have to give his ID, and he still gave his ID. And these two idiots are just being dicks.
So what does that make you?
Not a pig.
What does
Dude,
that
this
make
is
you for
illegal.
saying?
You'll legally have to prove that I was a nuisance
When
to
you're
the public.
standing-
How will you do that? How will you do that? I just want to hear
Camera
your-
systems. Okay, so when he goes by in the car, okay, and he sees you
Okay.
doing what you're doing,
And what was
that's
I
all gonna
doing?
be there.
And what part of that caused a disturbance? That's what I'm trying to legally understand. I don't understand. Is that a body camera?
That's what it is.
Perfect, perfect. Tuckerton doesn't have them, you know that? Tuckerton's been on back order for months. Because I have a lawsuit against them, that's why. And
You said because I have a lawsuit against them.
I wish they'd have body cams. I would love if they had body cams. Take out the bad cops.
It's for all of us.
Right.
It's for all of us. It's for everybody that's involved in the situation. Okay?
Appreciate it.
If you have any problems or anything, and you want to come down, you want to talk to somebody, our supervisors are always there as well. Okay?
Well, I'm going to
And
take
you
a
can do
lawsuit,
that.
so who would I press criminal charges?
I can't do it. This boy is too funny. He's out going, who, what?
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to
police
call.
officers.
You're gonna have to call and figure that out with a lawyer. You would have to file a complaint with the courts.
Got it.
Okay, and then you can go from there if you want to see if you can press charges and whatnot if you
Perfect.
violated your rights.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Stay
All
out of
right,
the
am I free to
roadway,
go?
Don't give us fingers.
Shut the f up.
Stay out
Shut the fuck up.
of the roadway. Stop causing a public alarm.
Dude, shut the f up. Am I free
Stop
to go?
cursing.
Am I
You're free to go.
Stop cursing. Go.
You're free to go.
Stop cursing, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
After Patrolman Lamont Tang informed Mr. Walker that he was free to go, Mr. Walker directed a profanity at both of the officers and walked away without
Good.
any further incident. Very little information is
So he can swear at them and then walk away, but the first time when he showed the middle finger, he couldn't. Okay, interesting.
available about this interaction, and although Mr. Walker informed the officers of his intent to pursue legal action, it is unknown whether he
Oh,
has taken any steps to
We
do
don't
so.
have the ending.
Overall, Corporal Pritch and Patrolman Lamont Tang get an F for acting with total disregard to Mr. Walker's First Amendment and
Yeah, these two, complete tools.
Fourth Amendment
They should be fired. You go clean the toilets. You go dig trash.
rights, detaining him without reasonable suspicion to do so, and blatantly misstating the law multiple times throughout the encounter. The officers repeatedly demonstrated their complete ignorance
He's a boy, man. Two grown-ass men. Two grown-ass men. Look at them. Look at them.
of some of the most essential legal principles that apply to law enforcement officers by falsely claiming that it was illegal for Mr. Walker to use profanity and display his middle finger, that Mr. Walker was legally required to identify himself, and that their illegal
cops
detention of Mr. Walker did
got
not
no
violate
shit to
the
do
Fourth
in their
Amendment,
jobs.
or
Like,
was
I don't know what
implicated
these
because
two
he was
fools
not
are
formally
doing.
arrested. While both officers could certainly benefit from additional training,
Look at them. I mean, look at that face.
it is also crucial to discuss the fact that Corporal Pritch chose to turn off his body camera when
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. How about that part? Yes.
Mr. Walker started screaming for
Look,
help,
look,
despite
look,
the fact that
look.
it clearly violated both state law and policy. Although Mr. Walker did not appear to be injured when Patrolman Lamont Tang arrived and the body camera was reactivated, it is immensely troubling that Corporal Pritch intentionally and illegally prevented his interaction with Mr. Walker during this time from being recorded. And this sort of deliberate action demonstrates more than mere ignorance of the law that could potentially be corrected through training. Mr. Walker gets an
Yeah, you can't correct idiots through training. Like, you know, sometimes police doesn't know the laws and they honestly do honest mistakes, and I'm all for that. We all humans, mistakes happen. These two were idiots and dickheads. That's what they were. Because the second they pulled up, they could tell he's a young boy. Like, come on, like, what are we doing over here, man? Wasting everyone's time, man. Idiots.
A-, because although he provided the officers with his identification when he was not legally required to do so, he
And I can sit here all day and say, oh, to the boy, why did you show the middle finger to the police? That's rude. Yes, it is rude. It's not nice to show the middle finger to anybody. But it's nothing wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He can sit there and show the middle finger all day long. So what's the problem? That's what upsets me. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. What the...
demonstrated a strong understanding of his constitutional rights, stood up to the officers when they repeatedly misstated the law, and even attempted to educate the officers about the constitutional
Even attempted to educate the fucking...
rights of citizens when they repeatedly revealed their ignorance. While Mr. Walker maintained a hostile demeanor with the officers and used some inflammatory language, he was well within his First Amendment rights to do so, and I would encourage him to follow through on his
Sorry.
intentions of filing a lawsuit against these officers for their illegal and unconstitutional actions. I commend Mr. Walker for taking an interest in constitutional rights at such a young age.
So do I. I'm actually shocked that this boy knew more than these idiots. Like, you know, like, come on.
And this interaction perfectly demonstrates how useful this knowledge can be for young adults across the country. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic you would like us to discuss in the comments
Well, I
below.
think that was it.
Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out
I really wish I would have seen if these boys sue them, because I wish that boys sue them. But either way, I mean, there's not much else to say to that. Those two idiots are idiots, and the boy, good for him. All right, well, that was that. I do have to go now, and at least I managed to see the video now, so I'm happy. All right, see you guys later. Thank you so much. Wait, petition. Just so you know, the link you posted on Twitter is pointing probably to your... Did I tweet now? I wasn't supposed to tweet. Damn. I think I probably was set it up because I wasn't supposed to tweet. So I think it selected my old tweets. Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me know, though. And yes, I did follow you. Alright. See you guys later. Thank you so much. See you in a bit.